And welcome back to the ministry. This is Taj McCameron, and today we are talking about new beginnings. Now, previous video, which I think I'm going to end up linking this to that, I kind of touched a little bit on this, but I didn't realize. Look how God worked. I didn't realize the next article I was going to read was going to be talking about exactly this. God is in alignment. My God. Because I had been talking at the end of the last video, a quick run through of this very thing. Didn't look at the next article. I scrolled down to the next article after I finished the video. What is it talking about? It's a more detailed reference to what I was saying. So we're going to do a little bit of a recap as we go through this piece. And I give you more in-depth spiritual warfare tactics as we stretch out a little bit, because we got about 30 minutes to get into this topic. So let's go. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's do this. So, in recap, the door has closed. You've birthed what it is that you are being prepared to birth. You ain't seen it yet, because there's a scripture in the Bible that goes, on earth as it is in heaven, but you must pull it down from heaven onto the earth. The interim of it getting from heaven to earth, that space in between when it's coming down, oh honey, that's the space that this is when you see the warfare. Because I'm going to tell you what every minister I've ever listened to said. And there's one particular I listened to, Dr. Jolene Whitaker, love her. She said that when the blessings begin to come down, it has to come through multiple levels of spiritual levels. You have the heavens, you have what they call the universe, what they call your sky, you got earth down here. Look at it like that. It's got to come from the heavens all the way through all of that. Okay? Because it's coming through all of that, you're going to feel spiritual pressure, oppression. You ever notice just before a breakthrough, you start to feel the worst pressure? You get pressure headaches. You start to feel just down, like somebody has knocked you completely off your feet. You feel like, I can't even get up off this couch. I can't get up off this bed. You feel exhausted, dizzy. You're feeling the spiritual warfare and witchcraft between what's going on, where the angels are fighting, the demons are fighting, and there's some witchcraft involved in that. And you're feeling it over your head. Some people get a little nauseated. Some people get it in their stomach. Some people, it's like, what is all of this? As we wait for the next door to open, it's going to open, but the second that the door closes, the enemy attacks to keep you from going through that door. This is when, getting back to what she was saying, she normally says that angels, as soon as the old door closes and the new door is about to open, angels are dispatched to bring forth the blessing into the natural. Listen to me carefully, because I'm about to say something. Go into your word. Go into the, what do they call it? The Blue Letter Bible app, and look up Epitha. A-P-A, what am I saying? A-P. It's E-T-H-A-P-A-P like APATH, something like that. A. Look it up. Jesus says this. It's be open. You're seeking for the door in the spirit to be open. Open heavens. As according to the scriptures speak of prove me not that I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you shall not have room enough to receive. As well as Isaiah 22 and 22. I have opened the door that no man can shut. There's also another scripture that says, I have opened, what is it? Hold on. I was hearing it when I was saying that scripture, and now I can't think of it. Give me a minute. I'll open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you shall not have. I think I just said that. So if it's something, I'll remember it before the end of this. But Revelations, when you are going through this kind of warfare, you get tired. Galatians 6 and 9 states, do not get weary in well doing, for you will reap a harvest if you faint not. Revelations 3 and 8 speaks of, I know your deeds. I see I have placed a door open before you. An open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet ye have kept my word and have not denied my name. God knows that we have little strength, and when the door closes, it's a ripping and a shedding, and that takes a lot out of you. Everything from your old season has to be stripped away in order for you to fully walk into your new season. And sometimes it looks like a storm took place in your life as a reflection physically of the manifestation of your blessing coming. It looks like sheer freaking hell. You're looking like, what I do to get, what I do to receive this? Why is this happening? Oh my God. What? Boy, what in the world did I do? Because you're like, oh, you spiritually got through. Everybody's saying, congratulations, you spiritually made it. And then they tell you, oh, you forgot. There's going to be a bit of a fight before you get to see the thing. And they're like, wait, excuse me? I thought it's like, oh yeah, it's going to be a bit of a fight. And sometimes it's a stripping. Sometimes it's chaos explodes in your atmosphere. And you're like, what is this chaos? Why is this? The boat that you used to get here is falling apart. So sad, but it is. I've seen this happen on multiple occasions. When you see these things happen, sometimes if at the rate that you see them, depending on how many layers God's got to snatch from you, as he's elevating you, as each layer demolishes into the last layer, it's like you're going up in a building, but every layer below you is collapsing. And it's like, what is this? It can make you and put you through a series of testing that you just need rest. God has been fortunate. He gave me a year of rest after a 4-year journey that was absolute insanity. But it was worth the experience. Did I like it? No. But we don't. Let me tell you something. Let me take this caveat over here to say this. When you give your life to God, they don't tell you about the fine print of when you give your life to God. And this is not a deterrent. This is just me being honest and stating fact. It's sad to say it, but I gotta say it. When they give you the manual, which is the Bible, to walking with Jesus, they forget to tell you that all these things are going to happen mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, socially, financially. Everything is going to get ripped away. You're going to go through seasons. You're going to go through all of these types of things. And it's enough that God has to strip you down until you no longer feel like you can do it by yourself. It's a spiritual breaking. You have to be broken and broken and broken and broken. I heard one person refer to it as gracefully broken. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it's graceful. Sometimes it feels like straight hell. And you're like, what? I always refer to it as in the bad seasons, in the wilderness seasons, it looks like the game Silent Hill in Hell State. Literally. It's like you heard the siren go off. You're like, oh no, here it comes. And yeah. You think I'm being funny? Sometimes it's like that. For real. Okay. I ain't crazy. I'm not saying that it actually strips to a demonic level of blood coming down the wall, craziness like that, like the game did. I'm talking about you will literally see a manifestation like day and night. You'll be going through peaceful situations. You'll walk in to the place that God has set you and all hell done broke loose. And you're like, what the heck just happened? It was a breakthrough of some sort. Even though it was like, what the heck? All the demons done came out. This is why I always tell you guys. I keep telling y'all, I would probably end up doing a series where I do a breakdown on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Why? A lot of people will sit up there and say, why would you talk about that demonic TV show? Let me explain something to you. I'm going to make this caveat and we're going to get back into the reality of what I was talking about. The reason that I would talk about that show specifically is, one, we are chosen. That character was chosen. She was called to do what she was called to do. And the demons that she was fighting was a physical manifestation of what we spiritually are fighting. That's why I use it as a good reference point. God gave me a beautiful write-up specifically about everything I was dealing with. And I was like, how you do that using that show? I didn't even want to rewatch the show. He got me rewatching all episodes of it. I'm like, oh my God, I see it. Getting back to the article. So we're going to do that later. But getting back to the article, you will understand that God knows. You have little strength. When the door closes, it is a ripping. It takes a lot out of you. And when the door shuts, you are going to need to take a breath. And you're going to be like, woo, I got out of that. Good. Where's my next open door? And this is something I heard someone say, and it's true. When one door closes, another door opens, but it's hell in the hallway. which brings me back to the reference why it is hell in that hallway. Because the enemy senses you're about to be blessed, and he's going to take one last ditch effort to try and destroy you. Let me tell you something. If you didn't watch my video, Walk Through the Valley, it should be in the spiritual warfare playlist. I talk about the experience I had when I was in New York. I don't go into detail. There's going to come a day I will. That I fell on an escalator and was thrown 10 feet from a 10 feet height backwards because the bag I had with me got caught in the lower part of the staircase and threw me backwards, up in the air and backwards. When I fell with the grace and only God that I landed on my shoulder and not my neck or my head. Because once I was thrown up, there was no knowing of how I was going to land. I don't remember anything, and I'm sure people reacted to it if they saw it. I remember the person coming to me that they stopped the escalator because I think they was afraid there was going to be a suitcase with that case. And no, I did not. Because of what happened, I did talk to a lawyer, and they said that due to the situation, I would have not gotten anything from that situation. But I was thrown. And due to the fact that I landed the way I landed, that's the only thing that saved my life. I got up and walked away from that. Same day. Got up and walked away from that. Went over, sat on the bench, and ate some donuts. Legit. That's exactly. I'm not lying. It's not funny because I could have literally died that day. But I'm here to tell the story. Look at God. That was a ditch effort. Why? Because it wasn't long after that. I don't even think it was a week. I was approached by somebody that told me, and not only did they tell me, they took me to where I was supposed to go next. I didn't know where I was going. When God is preparing a place for you, He will have someone come to meet you to take you where you've got to go next. Especially if you don't know how to get there. He will bring somebody to you to take you there, or He will give you direct instructions as how to get there. But you're going to get to your next destination. Whether He's going to bring someone to you, He's going to have somebody sent to you, or He's going to have a communication point contact you. And that communication point is going to say to you, okay, I'm sending X, Y, and Z. When you see X, Y, and Z, you know. So, yeah, within a couple of days of that. And because of that, that's why that attack came. I was between blessings. The door to that season was ending for me, and I was going to be shifting to another location. And the enemy tried to take me out just before I reached my next destination. So when the blessing is on its way. The enemy can sense that, and God has sent you extra angels. He sends his minions out to see what's going on. This is why that you start to see those annoying hindrances. People walking up to you abruptly, people waking you up suddenly to startle you, repetitive interruptions while you're working, continual arguments out of nowhere, chaos, sickness, nastiness. If it bothers you, the enemy will use it. Example, you are at, you're a germaphobe. You will find that the enemy will throw uncleanliness at you to the extreme to upset you. You want to sleep. You will see continuous annoying interruptions interrupting your sleep pattern. The enemy knows. He knows you. He knows you're about to be blessed, and he tries to knock you out of position. If you're losing sleep, if your surroundings become unbearable, if the frustration happens, fear can creep in. Lately, I'm going to tell you exactly what exact attack that's happening to me, especially that's like, praise Jesus. I know exactly what's about to bless me. Why? Because God's been telling me repetitively for months what's about to bless me. And I've been looking at this situation, and I went over, I looked, and when I looked, I was like, and the thing that my brain, see, the enemy comes to bring doubt. He was coming to bring this doubt. He had me poking on a insignificant thing. Today, I was looking at something else. Something popped up on my feed, and I was looking at it, and I was nitpicking a word. I was like, wait a minute. Last night, I saw a video clip in relation to something, and I was lit. Me and the Lord was arguing for 3 hours. An hour last night, an hour this morning, and silently. Might have been 2 hours last night and an hour this morning over this thing. And it wasn't so much, the person didn't do nothing. I saw something. And when I saw something, my emotions got lit. And I was like, what is this? And then it brings up shame. And then it brings up guilt. And you're like, wait a minute. And thank God, one of the people that I listened to, she brought it up a couple days ago. And I was like, that's what that was. Trying to get you out of character. Because the enemy knows that he cannot get you to miss your blessing. So he will do everything he can to get you to forfeit it by sending Matthew 12:45, New International Version. Then it goes and takes with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and then goes in and lives there. And the final condition of the person is worse than the first. That's how it will be with this wicked generation. Bible study, unknown short script. Then it says, I will return to the house I left. On its arrival, it finds the house vacant and swept clean, put in order. Then it goes and it brings with it 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and then goes into the dwelling there, and the final plight of the man is worse than the first. So it will be with this wicked generation. While Jesus was still speaking to the crowd, his mother and brother stood outside wanting to speak to him. That was the Berean Study Bible. And that's where those spirits come from. Frustration, anger, fear, shame, guilt, and then throw in spirits like spirit husbands, demonic attachments, familiar spirits, spirit exes, lust demons. All of these things are thrown at you all at the same time, and the enemy will pull out all the stops. This is when you will have a demonic gang. And let me tell you this from a dream that I had. I've had a couple of dreams like this. I remember one time I had a dream. No lie. I woke up. I didn't wake up. I was asleep. And I was in this place. It wasn't my place. But it was like, these people was just hanging out like they lived there. And I'm like, I'm seeing somebody over there smoking and this other person going through the refrigerator and the other person standing outside smoking weed and they got the door open and I'm sitting there like, who the hell is all of you people? Get out of my house. Get out of my dwelling place. This is not your place. What are you doing? And they was just hanging around like they belonged there. And I'm like, you don't belong here. I had another dream years ago. This was before I moved and went to New York. I dreamed I was on a highway and I saw a person that was familiar that I knew was had passed away. And I saw them in a long cloak. And when I saw them, they were kind of in like a death cloak. And when I turned around, the demon gang was around me. It was 5 or 6 people. And the next thing I know, I felt somebody stab me. This was actually it was either just before or just after a birthing dream. Meaning the night before I'd either dreamt of a birth or the day after I dreamt of a birth of a child. Meaning the enemy was trying to kill me either before what it was I was doing with birth was probably just the move because I was supposed to move. And he was trying to take me out. So you will run into these kinds of things. And he will pull out all the stops before your breakthrough because you already broke through in the spirit. For I said this, I don't know whether I said it in the beginning of this, I said this in the previous one, that the multiple levels. You already broke through in the heavens. The heavens are open. Epitha, it was open. The blessing's about to fall down. Sometimes you find rain starts to happen continuously. Whatever it is supposed, it's a spiritual sign that a manifestation is coming into your reality. And all hell breaks loose. You already broke through in the spirit. Now you just need to meet it in the natural. And the enemy knows this and cannot stop it. But he will try to stop it and stop it from moving forward and getting to you at this point in time. You will meet it because it cannot be stopped. You take 10 steps from the breakthrough, 30 seconds from walking into it. By walking your right, you run right into the counterfeit. Oh God, the counterfeit. The other day, depending on what it was, whatever it is that you're waiting for, usually you run into a counterfeit. I will tell you this happened to me several years ago. I have a book. The book that I was trying to publish at the time, I sent it out because I've chopped this book to a couple different publishers. And it was so funny. That's why I love the ministers I listen to, because they be right on the mark, right on time, impromptu. I chopped the book and I sent it out to 2 different places. One, they were going to make me pay 10 grand to have this book published, but they were going to put me everywhere. The other one, they had a contract, but they were going to gain ownership of my book if I signed it. And I was looking at both of those contracts. And thank you, God, Dr. Jolynn. I love you. That's why I still follow her to this day. She came on the broadcast. It was the 23rd of December. I was at a church. I came a day early to help them prep for their Christmas thing, but they weren't able to do it that day. But while I was sitting there waiting, she came on and she said, "You're going to get a contract. You're going to actually get 2 contracts. Do not sign the contract." I was like, Jesus, you on time. Jesus, you on time. And you know, did those people not call me while I was listening to her broadcast? They called me and said, we were calling to find out, did you sign a contract? I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. And they were like, what? I don't understand. Why would you not want to do that? Just all you have to do is just sign it. I'm like, excuse me. What? That's my book. You will see this happen with relationships, jobs, businesses. You need to know what it's worth, because you and your enemy is counting on you not knowing what it's worth. Because of this, he will try to drop seeds in your mind to expand your mind for you to understand that your mind is under attack. Corinthians 10:5, King James. Cast down every thought and imagination and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bring it into captivity, every thought into the obedience of Jesus Christ. You have to release the fact that the door is going to open. Logically, the enemy is counting on that, and that is why he's waiting for you and will with all the minions to come and get you, because if they can't get you, think that there's a gatekeeper that will stop you. They'll send a gatekeeper to stop you. Isaiah 43:19. See that I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the desert. I'm making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. I will go through the other part, but I'm trying to finish this because we only got about a half of a minute left. God is going to abruptly open the door in the midst of the chaos. You see the door and you better run. Get ready suddenly. Get ready. The blessing is coming. It is happening. The shift is on its way. The shift is among us. Shift. Sudden breakthroughs, sudden open doors, sudden supernatural miracles, sudden outrageous supernatural impossible